A big part of the sport of strongman, of course, is injuries and recovering from them, and more importantly, avoiding them. Because getting strong should be a steady path with little to no hiccups. Every time you get an injury, it will slow you down. I don't think it's important to necessarily work harder, but work smarter. Because a lot of people get into this method or this ideology of just grinding and pushing through whatever pain they're feeling and going in and hitting weights hard no matter how bad they feel. Don't buy into that. You got to listen to your body and just follow a plan, a steady plan that slowly builds you up in strength, because injuries start to happen when you get greedy with your strength and then start getting stuck in a lifting heavy and hard mindset, which unfortunately did happen to me. My whole life I've taken a lot of pride over my ability to stay healthy and uninjured. And that's because I was very patient with my strength. It was really rare that I got tweaks of any kind, and when I did, I took all the time I needed to recover from any kind of tweaks or pains I was feeling, so that my body was always fresh. However, when I started getting invited to more shows and then getting paid for it, I had more of a pressure to keep up my strength, to basically stay at a peaked level for a longer time, which involved more heavy lifting and less energy and time to do recovery work. And just last year, it all started hitting me real quick, because I got into this state that I was talking about of just pushing through the pain. And the way it all started, because before I was injury-free, was last year. I was almost made into the Arnold Classic through points in previous contests, but right 2 weeks before the show, Big Z drops out because he had nerve damage, and I'm the next guy they called up, and they pulled me into the Arnold Classic Strongman Ohio show, which is the heaviest contest in existence. And so here I am 2 weeks out. I need to see if I could do these weights. And this is a show that people take months, half a year to build up to be able to do this show in a way that's safe. And I throw on this 500 something kilograms in a frame just to see if I could pick and carry it. And I do. 30-foot run. It's a contest weight. And right at the end of that run, I feel a little, and hence I pulled a nerve. Next day, I couldn't even lift up my right arm beyond this point. The muscle was just completely shut down. My brain was not connecting to my deltoid anymore, and it wouldn't activate, and neither would my bicep. Very low activation. So 2 weeks later, I'm freaking out. I'm going through depression, denial, and anger, and some of the worst emotions and turmoil I've felt in my life, thinking my strongman career is over. But I compete anyways. 2 weeks later, in the Arnold Classic Ohio, placed top 5 in the first 3 events with just one arm, because it was just a yoke carry and deadlift, and then the frame that I originally dislocated my shoulder and damaged that nerve. But the deadlift, I got up to 900 something pounds. The yoke carry, I believe, was 1,550, and I ended up taking top 5 in that. And then the same frame, that was 1,100 something pounds up a 30-foot ramp. Didn't quite make it all the way, but still good for top 5. Then the last 2 events, when it came down to the throwing and the pressing, this arm was useless and I couldn't do anything. So 2 months go by and I'm just doing everything I can to get this arm back. I'm doing nerve flossing, stretching, and just any kind of arm circles every single day to keep learning to communicate with that arm again. And right before World's Strongest Man, lo and behold, my arm comes back, at least the motion, but my left deltoid is almost twice the size. So then I compete in World's Strongest Man. That's the year I took 4th. It's likely I could have even done better if I didn't have that injury. After World's Strongest Man, I get invited to UK Summer Mania show, a big show in Southampton. And I won it. And then 1 week later, I go back into heavy training because I'm getting invited to more and more heavy shows. This would ideally be the time I pull back, start lifting light, and allow my nervous system and body to recover. But I'm starting to get into that phase where I couldn't say no. So I'm starting getting ready for my next contest, already lifting heavy. And I go into doing this gymnastics motion that I hadn't done for a year. It's called a back lever. It's when you hold a bar behind your back and you straighten out your body to be parallel with the ground. And because of my nerve damage, I had stopped doing it. And normally this is a way I would wake up my body and kind of get warm up for a strongman session. I love doing calisthenics, by the way, to warm up for a strongman workout. And I go to do this back lever and I feel my pec tore. And I jump down and there it is, a pec tear. It's something I should have been slower to introduce into my training again. I had been the heaviest I've ever been. I should have known better to do the easier progressions, but I jump right up into the full-on back lever, hold it, tear my pec, go into surgery weeks later, get that healed up, and now I'm forced to do 3 months of light work. And then basically, again, push comes to shove and I have to get ready for a show. My pec just finished healing and getting ready for the LA Fitness Expo, that show that won me my pro card. This would be my 4th year competing the LA Fitness Expo in a row to hold my title. And the week before it, I go to lift up a telephone pole, emulating one of my friends' techniques for it, which I knew was just an awful. Basically, I always deadlift with a very tight and arched back. It's like a plank. And my friend basically does this telephone pole lift with a very rounded back. And his go up quicker. So I thought, screw it, I'm gonna give it a shot. And there was 700 pounds loaded on it. Of course that's stupid. If I'm trying a new technique, I need to lift lighter and just progressively build up to it. But I try it right off the bat with a rounded back, let my shoulders loose, and my left lat tears. Of course, a week later, I compete in the show anyways. I have to skip 2 events just to not damage my lat farther. I do win the show with the lat tear. And then it's another 3 months of recovering that lat. And then just this last week in Warwick, after, it's always just the dumbest, whenever you feel like you shouldn't be lifting, it's probably when you shouldn't be lifting. I basically visit my home country of Latvia, party for 2 weeks, I'm drinking, minimally training, go to compete in Warwick, Canada, an Arnold qualifying show, probably the hardest show I've ever done because it's 10 events in 2 days. Second day, first event, squat. I win the squat. On the very last rep, I tore my quad. It's a slight tear, but again, it was one of those life teaching me a lesson to, when you think it's stupid to do something physically, it is, most likely. And that's where I'm at with my injuries. Basically, it's just been 1 year of little nick after nick. And it's because I've strayed away from that the progressions that I used to do. I've strayed away from the patience I used to have, and I've become a little bit more reckless and overly confident with my strength, and just believing I could lift heavy weights all the time, when I've known for a decade or more that that is not the approach you should take. So if anything you could take from this, be patient, listen to your body, allow yourself to build up in strength slowly, lift light weights at least for half of the year to then prepare your body for heavier weightlifting thereafter. And just if you guys have any more questions, of course, I'm sure you do, on how to recover from all these injuries, comment below.